to the Thirsty Bitches podcast, where we talk about anything under the sun, from books, entertainment, and even a little spice. I'm Victoria.
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Katalyn.
I put emphasis on spice because we're trying the Smut episode again.
It's going to be a lot of spice today.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? Anyways, we're joined by Jen.
Hi.
I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I'm barely here at this moment.
I just got over a cold, so y'all are lucky I'm even here.
Oh God. This episode's gonna be something. Enjoy.
Listen, Katalyn and I are just here. This is why we brought Jen in this time. As you guys know, if you listened last time, we didn't have much to contribute to this conversation.
No.
So
essentially that episode was me proving yet again that I am an absolute whore and those two are just here.
And me modding the episode, wanting to talk to Victoria and not being able to.
Yeah.
Because I was not supposed to be there.
I just told you guys, I am a glutton for that slow burn. Like, Smut's nice, but it's not necessary for me.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-mm. But before we get into this conversation, we are going to do our quenchable moments. And if you're new here, a quenchable moment is something happy or exciting that each of us have done over the last week or so that we want to share with each other and with you. So to kick us off, Jen, what was your quenchable moment?
Okay, my quenchable moment is coming up in 17 days.
Okay.
I am going to Spain to go see Founder Mafi.
Yay! That's
10 days.
So exciting.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I've never traveled internationally by myself, so this is completely new.
Well, you can ask Katalyn how that's like, because she does it all the fucking time.
Yeah, she does it all.
She'll give you all the tips and tricks.
I'm gonna need to, because I'm a little worried.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
But it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, everything will be fine. And I feel like Spain's like a safer area to travel like into alone.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be with Mafi, so
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, everything will be
great time. Well, I'm jealous of you because I want to go to Spain. It's like on my list of places I want to visit. So I can't wait to see all of the things you do and the places you see, and the souvenir you bring back for me, because obviously, I'll be
seeing you soon after.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Just let that one in real quick.
Yep. Just
literally like 3 weeks after I get back, we get to go see Taylor.
Yeah. Yes. Wow, that's wild. It literally could just be chocolate. The tiniest thing from the airport. I don't care. It's from Spain. But that's exciting. I know we're all jealous of you, and we want to be there with you. Give Mafi like the biggest hug for us.
Of course.
Except for Katalyn, because Katalyn's already seen her.
No, still give her a hug for me.
Just give her a nice crisp high five for me.
2 hugs and a high five. I got it.
Perfect.
I mean that with all of the same emotions from a hug. I'm just not a hugger.
It will be enthusiastic, I promise.
Perfect.
Well, that's exciting. Katalyn, what was your quenchable moment?
My quenchable moment is that yesterday we went to the other college town because they're having a festival, and they have a really nice like old town downtown, and we went to some like, it's called the Cupboard. It's like they have like all kinds of like kitchen and house things, but they also have a candy section. It's called the Cupboard. No, they don't have cupboards, but they have like.
But it's called the Cupboard. Okay, well.
Yeah, it's called the Cupboard. I don't know, but they have.
Misleading.
They have a candy section, so we found like
cupboard shaped like candy.
Like giant Smarties. They had fireballs that I almost bought for my students, but they also have European candies, so I bought more of these Smarties.
Cute.
So I was very happy that I have found a place that has one of my favorite European candies. That's like a 40-minute drive.
I love finding like little places, little shops that have like the candies that we can't get here. Because I love a good whisk.
They had a flake. They had flake. The only other one I knew of was in the mountains, and that's a long drive just for candy. But now this one's closer, so I'll have to go buy you a flake bar.
Yes, I went home. We were in Virginia with Connor for his thing, and we found that little Britain store. And I have like 4 flakes in my freezer here in Seattle because I brought them with me. If you guys have never had a frozen flake in a McDonald's ice cream, you're not living. You usually go have it. It's delicious.
So, but anyways, we had fun yesterday down there, but that was the highlight is I found my European candy.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that feeling when you come across it. You're just like, yes, yes. So, it's exciting. Victoria, what was your quenchable moment?
I fucking love this drill.
Oh my god.
This is my quenchable moment.
If y'all are just listening and you're not watching, she just for 2 seconds just held up this drill, was so quiet just holding it.
I love this thing.
Holding it up like a weapon right now.
So if you guys have been listening along, you've probably figured out by now that I'm a pretty handy person and I like to do projects. And I don't know why I waited so long to get a drill like this. It has made my life so easy. So much easier. And now I'm like looking back on the last 31 years of my life, like, you stupid fucking bitch. Why did you not get a driver drill sooner?
Gosh.
That's very aggressive.
I'm feeling really aggressive today, so.
Is it the drill?
It is the drill. It's satisfying. It's probably my favorite purchase of this year. So
listen, I have like PTSD with drills right now. I can't even look at mine.
Yeah, but that's not a real drill. This is an actual drill. This is what I told Jen. This is what I told you and Jen to get, and you got what you got.
Listen,
which is fine.
I didn't have the money to get something like that at that point.
This was only $60.
I think the one we got was like $25. Like it was
okay. That's fair.
It was,
and like for your standard person, like that's perfectly fine. That's not a bad drill to have. It's just I'm a psychopath and do things like build my own bed.
No, it was a bad drill to have. We literally broke one of the heads.
Okay, yeah, the bits were trash.
That's rough.
We broke the Phillips.
I'm gonna need to hear that story off.
But
we stop recording.
Hey, like bright side, if I ever have to help you move again, I have an actual drill now. Bring it with me.
Should bring it with her.
Yeah,
I will. Dead ass every trip from now on.
Just bring
drill.
Every trip that you go on with me, like there's
with Kiara.
With Kiara, I'm just gonna bring the drill.
I don't know
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we could have used it in Colorado too. Shit.
Yeah. Anyways,
Kiara, what's your quenchable moment?
So my quenchable moment at this point in time that this episode is coming out, Secret Invasion will have already been out. We will have watched most of the episodes, I want to assume. If not, most of them should be out by this point. If we're missing maybe a couple,
I think
I want to say at least 4 episodes. At least 4 episodes should be out by the time this episode releases.
Yeah, I think there are 8 total.
But I don't know if you guys have. I know, Victoria, you've been seeing this, but there's been this secret website that they posted about on Twitter for 2 seconds and then deleted, and you had to have a special access code to it, and everyone was freaking out trying to find the access code. Mm-hmm. Lo and behold, the guy who has all the secrets was able to share the access code, and I sent it to Victoria. I got in, and basically what the website is you get to watch the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? This, not the scroll. What the heck?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is when you sent it to me, I had already watched it by then because Reddit was on top of it because they had actually they had released 4 images, and when you put the images together, it gives you the access code. They're like, oh shit, here it is. That's how you find it. But yeah,
I just love how
real excited.
He's like, what I'm not gonna do is, and he put his glasses on and held this little notebook, and he read, and I'm sitting there listening to him read out the passcode. I'm like, It was
Yeah.
good.
It was really good.
I'm excited because I don't know. I just get this feeling that like we've seen like the trailers and stuff for it, and so we know that there's like new people coming in. Like Emilia Clarke is going to be in Secret Invasion, but like I just get this feeling like they're just going to throw in a lot of like new things that we have not seen yet because it's Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't know. I feel like we're going to be surprised.
We have the shots. We have the shots of him on Saber, and then they finally said like, "Oh, Fury's on Saber." So hopefully, we'll see some stuff from the Marvels.
And I'm curious to see if they're going to touch on our multiverse number during Secret Invasion and how this is going to tie into the Marvels, because like I feel like things are finally tying together, and with Nick Fury you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I have something that I want to talk to you about regarding that after this episode. Otherwise we'll be going for forever.
If you guys haven't seen it, just go on the invasionhasbegun.com, and you can find the passcode really easily on like Reddit and stuff, like Victoria said, and you can go watch the first 5 minutes. Even if you've watched the episode, like the page is like really cool. You feel like a secret agent, so I would highly recommend just like playing with it. But that was mine. Doing that.
Love that.
Now, really cool. Jen and Victoria, you guys can talk about Smut.
Yeah. All right, then. Let's get into it.
Look,
I am that Tick Town sound. You're gonna lose it when you find that I'm a whore. I'm pretty sure I said that in the last one.
I think you did.
Because it's true.
I mean, she's consistent.
Yeah, I am a consistent
we like
person.
Consistency.
It's just like, I got to a certain age. I probably started reading Smut way too young. Scratch that. I know I started reading Smut way too young. But it just altered a part of my brain chemistry, and now I'm just like, I can't read anything without it because I'm an adult, and that's what happens. Like, I won't die if it doesn't have Smut, but there are certain circumstances in which it just makes sense in my mind for it to be there. Like the Awakened series, it makes sense that there's really not like extensive Smut in
Those
it.
are my pure babies. There's my pure babies. Don't touch it.
No, don't quit. You'll still like it, Jen. Trust me.
I'm not gonna quit.
Jen, it's so good. You need to keep reading.
I will.
Then there's other stuff that I read, and I like get through it, and I'm like, why was there not a Smut scene in here? Like, it makes sense for it to be in this. So I just get aggravated, and it's also why I don't read YA, because first of all, I don't want to read about fucking teenagers. Let's be honest.
Okay, I just finished What If It's Us? I did not know that is about teenage boys. And I don't DNF.
Yeah.
So that was a lot awkward for me as a 30-something-year-old woman reading about two teenage boys exploring their sexuality and like getting to that point. I'm like, you're both still in high school. Can we not?
Yeah. And it's not to say that we're like ignorant of the fact that teenagers do it, because obviously it's just, I don't want to read about it.
Right.
That's why YAs are like Fade to Blacks, because we don't need to be reading about kids fucking,
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a full Fade to Black, but I was like, how far are we going here? Because like I feel icky now.
Yeah.
Like let me tell you, I just read Legendborn. I haven't read Bloodmarked yet, but I read Legendborn, and I felt a little awkward reading it at some points because she's 16 and the rest of them are over 18. Like she's with this guy, and I'm just like, this white boy Nick is taking advantage of a 16-year-old little black girl. Like I'll lose. Oh man. Like that's
Nick is the same age.
No, Nick's in the college program. He's a college student.
He was the same age. Oh,
everyone.
I thought she was 17.
She's 16, I think, going on 17, and everyone else is like actual college students.
No, I do think Nick is still in the early college program because the reason that they were set up was because he was going to mentor her. We put him up with somebody who was successful in the program.
Yeah.
To like keep an eye on her.
I'm pretty sure they said that he was 19 in it. So it's just like, at the very least, like they're legally adults and she is 16. And I'm just
Right.
like, this is Ako Taco. I don't like it. But the
Wow,
book
I haven't
is
heard
good.
that phrase in a hot second.
Taco Taco.
Oh
Listen,
gosh.
I'm watching Vanderpump Rules right now, and it's 2013 in the area I'm watching in, and I'm getting thrown back. So,
Man, what a wild time to be alive that was.
I don't even know like the last outright smut I've read, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like, it's
Oh,
just
I do.
been thrown in here and there. But that's like basically all you read. So
Katalyn, oh, I do.
I
What
was
was
like,
your
yeah,
last
I
one,
just-
Katalyn?
It was, where's my Kindle? Hold on, I gotta find the name of it.
I found the last one I read that had like actual smut.
Mine was fan fiction, obviously.
Duh.
To be
No one's
expected.
surprised.
One of my favorite ones that
Oh.
I've read since we did this episode last was Season Pass to This Ass, in which Draco is a Quidditch player. So fucking good. It's by the same author that did the Wait and Hope series and also wrote that one fiction, Season to Setting Fires, which I cannot recommend to anybody because there's a really traumatic death scene in there that I still have not emotionally recovered from. But Season Pass to This Ass, love that. There's also really great art by Incendio for it. He's buff.
I just love that title.
The last one I read was Souls and Sorrows by Sav R. Miller. It's probably Monsters and Muses standalone trilogy series.
How was
I
that?
read.
It's good. It's dark, so it's good.
Tell me more.
Oh, the first one is I was like, what? The first one is Promises and Pomegranates, and it's a retelling of
It's
Hades
from
and
that
Persephone.
series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's Vipers and Virtuosos, Oaths and
Mhm.
Omissions, Arrows and Apologies, Souls and Sorrows, whatever one I just said.
Mm-hmm. So
And
it's
then there's
like a Greek retellings.
yes, very, 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 very loosely. And then there's another one coming out in a couple months.
Got it.
I might look
Nice.
down at it. But like one of them was like Helen of Troy. Another one is Apollo and Daphne. But like very, very loosely based.
Jen, what was the last one you read?
I read the Full Tilt duology by Emma Scott.
No.
Please do not read the second book.
No idea what it is.
All In does not exist. It doesn't exist. It's Full Tilt, and that's on its own. But again, check the triggers because that one actually made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys know I'm not really a crier with the books. No, I was sobbing.
Yeah, same goes for the books I just read. Read the triggers.
I was sobbing, but it wasn't Fade to Black. Like it had its moments. So did All In, but again, we pretend All In doesn't exist. That one genuinely pissed me off.
Fair. Okay, Jen, my question for you is:
Yes.
when you are reading Smut, what is something that you always look for? Because there are some specific tags that I look for on AO3 whenever I'm reading, and I know I'm like looking for something. This is why I love AO3 so much, and why I wish like more book rating systems had like tags, so I could be like, oh, this specifically has this thing in it, instead of having to do like a vague Google search, because that never works properly.
I actually don't look for specific things.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say what was it? Crap, what was the book? I'm blanking on Neon Gods.
Mm-hmm.
I was
read that one.
I was
have
genuinely annoyed how long it took Hades to go down on her.
Oh yeah.
It was like 75% through. I'm like, you guys have been fucking already. Like, you can't do this.
Fun fact, Jen. That's the book I read in its entirety on my flight to surprise you guys that one time. When I'm just like and it was me, so there was 3 of us sitting on this plane. I'm on the window seat and there's 2 women sitting next to me and they're together like friends or something. I'm reading Neon Gods. The woman next to me is reading a historical text highlighting as she goes. And the one next to her is reading like a classic. And I'm like, oh, we are not the same.
One of these things just does not belong here.
I'm really holding my book like this. I'm just like, please, God, don't,
Okay, but
don't
what's kind
glance
of
at my
funny
book. Don't glance at it.
this has nothing to do with smut, but on my flight to London last year, so you read Neon Gods on your flight out to come surprise us in LA. I took Priory, which you gifted me on that trip on the plane. And someone was like, oh, what is that about? And I was like, I'm 50 pages in. I don't know. Here, you can read the back. Like,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's a book. It's here.
Why would you ask me this? This thing is like
Sapphic,
freaking 4 inches thick.
love,
And
and dragons. I don't know. That's all I know.
I will say,
does that.
so for Priory, Sapphic is like the least important part of Priory. Just to throw that.
Those are the only
It
things I
happens.
know, that it's Sapphic and that there's dragons. That is it.
Yeah.
It was
Man.
really good though, but not
I'll
spicy.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
that's fair.
classify it as spicy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So because I'm a mood reader, I always get into moods where I'm like, I want something really specific. So
That's-
again, I really like the fact that I can filter out for tags. One of my favorite things is cock warming. Do we know what this is? Do we need to have a lesson?
Do you see my face right now?
Ed knows what this is.
See, this is why I'm on this episode.
I know what it is.
Do you know what it is, Katalyn?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Say it
Kira's the odd man
slower.
out.
Say it slower. What?
Cock warming. No, still not. It's essentially where you're just sitting on it. You're just keeping it toasty.
Okay, it's fun. What a fun time!
You're like,
everyone.
"No."
What a great time!
No, but the reason why I like it is
Oh,
because
man.
it's always like in tandem with like, oh, he's just casually like eating dinner and making you just sit and wait. So you have to like torture yourself.
Kira's
y'all
like,
know
no.
y'all know I love BDSM, and that's one of my favorite aspects of it.
And I feel like that could actually go into Kira's love for slow burn. Like
It could.
that's
Yeah.
It is sexual slow burn for sure.
it is a sexual slow burn.
Kira's like, "It's very hard fucking."
He's like, no.
She's like, I want to hit it and quit it.
Not
Listen,
the
I
not the
love a-
tension she's wanting.
I love a good slow burn. I love the tension, but I'm also an Aquarius, and like, please stay away from me with this. Like, just get in and get
Okay,
out. Like, I don't.
But so is Victoria. You can't use the I'm an Aquarius when you're both sitting there.
We're
and
different.
both are
We are
opposites.
very different Aquariuses. Like, let me.
Okay, but here's the thing: we have the same Venus too. No, we don't. I have the same Venus as Gabby.
Mine's a
We
Capricorn.
have the same moon. No, we do have the same Venus. So you are similar enough to like.
Girl, I don't fucking know. Tell me.
The only difference is our rising signs.
Appealing. Does not.
She's like, no.
We'll convert you one day.
That's what you keep saying
You
about
like mating
but it's
stuff,
not
though.
fiction.
It's okay.
I don't.
No, it's not just a fan fiction thing. Fuck
No,
off.
I said that's what you say about fan fiction. We'll convert you one day.
You like mating stuff though.
I do.
It's a very slow descent from just the casual mating fan to all right.
Listen.
What? I read a description like 2 days ago. Oh, because okay. I'm not into the monster stuff. Like that's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if
Vampires count as monsters.
Yeah,
So
mine's
it's gay.
limited. You know,
Okay,
I like a
never
good
mind. Okay, so let
vampire.
me
I like
rephrase.
a good wolf shifter. I like a good dragon shifter. But that's
I'm-
like it. That's my limit.
I'm picky about the monsters.
Okay, so let me rephrase. I'm not into the tentacle stuff.
Yeah.
There we go. I can agree on that.
And this is not saying like this is we're not here to
We're
like
not shaming.
bag on
Not shaming.
anyone. This
No.
is just
No.
like our own preferences. Like I'm like
Yeah.
people just like multiple things and all their orifices all the time. I'm just like that's too much.
Too
Y'all out here being like fill all the holes all at once, and I'm like ah.
I mean, I'm that type of person, but I don't want them to be tentacles.
But I do have Stalked by the Kraken on my TBR for this month. 4 Mafi specifically.
Mhm.
Mm.
Of
And
course.
I read the description. She said that she will not let me in if I am not prepared
That's
to talk
yeah.
tentacles with her.
We need to do an episode with Mafi and Renee about this because they be
Literally,
reading some
no.
wild
You know
shit.
what's? It always just like shocks me to my core when like Mafi just like reveals another layer of herself. Like when I found out that she read this kind of like these kind of books, I'm just like, you of all people in the group. I was like, wow, Mafi, okay, get it, girl. What the fuck? Victoria, I understand. Jen, I
Wow.
understand.
What? Okay.
I know you guys very well. Mafi, I'm just like, I feel like I don't even know you.
So she says she will not let me in to her home unless I am prepared to have a conversation with her about this. So it's on my Kindle. I read the description yesterday, and the triggers contains breeding content and mentions of infertility. I'm like, those are very like way opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
Like, what are we doing here? Like,
Just covering all bases.
no,
Like, what's happening here?
I've
are we
seen
getting
enough
from A to B? Are we going backwards? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I've
I'll
seen a
find
lot
out.
of I've seen a lot of conversations about that book. Sylvie and our mod Lucy try really fucking hard to get me to read it. I get tagged, so I used to get tagged a lot in the Monster channel because they want me to read it, and I'm like, you guys, I've done my fucking time, and I realized that I never explained what I mean when I say that. When I was in high school, I had a tentacle porn phase.
I'm sorry.
It's very prevalent in hentai.
It
It's
is.
just there all the
It
time.
is.
It
So I
is.
did it. I did it. I tried it. I was like, not for me.
I think that's why
And
I'm the
that's that.
same way. I think that's why I'm the same way because like I grew up like watching anime, reading manga. My brothers
Yeah.
had both of my brothers had hentai around the house, so obviously like I was something I came across a lot,
Mhm.
and
Those
I'm
two.
just like, oh, I'm just not into it, man.
Yeah.
It's
Wasn't
not
for me.
my vibe.
And that is what I mean when I say I did my time. Did it, tried it, wasn't for me. I do like having all of the orifices filled, just not with tentacles.
Every
I don't know
time
why
you
that
say
doesn't-
I did my time, I'm sorry.
12
12
years ago.
years of it in Azkaban.
I'm sitting over here mouthing
I'm
it.
sorry. Katalyn and I are the same wavelength right
Yep.
now. We're just
Yep.
like,
I imagine that somebody got some orifices filled in Azkaban. I'm just saying.
oh, you know what? I would not put it past them. They're just all there
Listen.
together.
Sirius Black is a bi icon. I don't care what anybody says. That man is queer as hell. So he was probably getting it where he could get it. A long time without Mooney. We don't know how things were going.
It's true.
So.
Write it, Victoria. Write. I'm sure you don't.
There's
even
already
need to write it.
fanfic out there. I don't need to do
It's
that.
there. Yeah, I realized.
If it's a
what I was
thought,
saying.
it's a fic.
I realized what I
Fanfiction,
was saying as I was saying.
yeah, fanfiction is every intrusive thought that you ever have
Mhm.
in one place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's why I
Unless,
love it.
or it's what your friends beg you to write.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Jen is our resident smut writer. You've written
Yes.
some wild stuff. Didn't you have like a 6-person orgy at one point?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did.
I
And
just
it's
want to
real POV.
remind everyone that Jen is literally like a first grade teacher at the same time as she's
Yes.
doing it. So let me just tell you, when I started becoming friends with like teachers and stuff, I really
They're wild.
was just like, I started thinking about all of my teachers like in elementary school, and I'm just like, you know, my first grade teacher was a hippie, so I don't know what the fuck kind of shit she was into. Miss
I think my
McGill?
favorite
Miss McGill, what
I
you
think my
doing?
favorite is like realizing like, oh, you'd have a movie day like in the morning and you're like looking back, you're like, my teacher was
You're
probably hungover.
I would get in so much trouble if I did that though. Like for real.
Oh no,
Oh.
I had my third
You
grade teacher.
public
We had a
school.
teacher's aide the first half of the school year, and she let the teacher aide do most of the work the first half of the school year. And I'm like, Miss Gordon, were you out having fun since you didn't have to worry about the kids? The fuck you doing?
I mean, I remember having a student teacher and his eyes were really red one day and we all gave him shit because we thought he had eyes. He probably was.
I mean, he probably was. Let's be
See,
honest.
I could never be a teacher. You're much stronger than I am, Jen. I cuss too much.
I couldn't either.
I did put on something for the kids a couple years ago. It was supposed to be how to make cookies, like the how it's made for chocolate chip cookies, but it was the parody of how it's made, and I didn't realize that I clicked on that one. And there was like mentions of cocaine and
Oh no!
damn it, and I was like, "We're done."
Oh,
And then I had to go to my VP and be like, "So,"
This happened.
and I had her daughter that year in my class.
no.
Jeez.
I think I remember you telling me about this.
She laughed, but so
At least it was an honest mistake.
It was.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh,
Man.
I've learned my lesson."
Have it
That
preset and ready to
conversation took
go.
a very big turn. What?
Okay.
I said have it preset and ready to go.
Yeah,
That's the
learned
lesson.
absolutely my lesson. But yeah, I did write I think there's 5 characters plus reader because it's a reader POV
Oh yeah,
one.
the reader insert.
Yeah.
Man,
Those
what
ones
a
I
wild time that
literally
was.
I like whenever I read those ones like on Wattpad or like AO3 growing up, like I don't know, they just threw me off because it's like your name, and I'm like I would just read your name, like I wouldn't insert like
Yeah.
I wouldn't insert. I'm like your name.
Well, the funny thing is there are
didn't even write that.
plugins now where you can put your name in and it'll autofill or auto replace the YN with your actual name.
Weird.
And I was like,
Listen,
that's doing too much. Because I'll be honest, anytime I've read a book where the
With
main
my
character
name?
had my name, I was like, I'm
can't.
uncomfortable.
I can't read it. There's
Don't have that
what
issue.
is it? A sky in
I
the
don't even-
star, a sky in the star something. It's like that blue cover, and the girl is like falling like
Mhm.
upside down. The main character's name is Kiara, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I know people love it. I know people like they're raving about that book. Cannot.
I'm like,
It's my
"Oh,
name."
This is especially when it's a white person.
A
I'm
white
like, "Oh,
person.
that's even worse."
No.
Oh man, God.
Yeah, the only reason I finished the Cruel Prince series was at the request of Victoria.
You need
Or not
to
Victoria,
finish.
Vanessa. So
I
I
also
can,
need
You
So I
need to
could
finish the
write that
Vampire
piece.
Academy series so you
I'm
can
going
do
to.
more with that too.
Listen, I will
Mhm.
say Cruel Prince should have been a new adult.
It should have.
Like,
It
if
should
you
have.
read Holly's old stuff, which I do recommend, but also keep in mind that her older stuff was written in the 90s, and it was a very different time politically.
Yeah.
And there are things that are said that are not great that she, I believe, would not say now. I would hope so. But, you know, like, she didn't have, like, any bad takes, but there are, like, certain words and phrases that in the 90s you could get away with saying, and now you can't.
More acceptable back then.
Because they
And
are
the
not
women.
politically correct. But they're still a really good series, and she toes the line even harder in that series, in the modern fairy tale series, than she does in Cruel Prince. And that should have been new adult. Because listen, also Jude should have been aged up a little bit because they would have been fucking all the time.
Because wasn't she like 17?
Yeah, she was 17. I think she's 18 by the end of it. She might be older. I don't know. I don't keep track of how time passes in that series. I don't ever pay attention to that.
Vanessa's listening right now and yelling at all of us about it.
She'll fill us in later. What are some of your icks?
Oh,
This question is for everybody.
what are my icks? I mean, like SA, obviously. That like, there's a very big difference between consensual non-consent and just assault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I actually really liked about Desperate Measures is that it's heavy on the CNC, but like in the first 10 pages, she reveals like, I know what to say to make this stop. I know how to stop this if I want to, but I don't, so I'm not going to.
Yeah. A big ick for me is really bad dirty talk.
Yes.
Which is why I don't think I could ever read Tessa Bailey now, because Gabby told me about the buns thing, and I'm like, no.
Listen, we're in the car on the road trip listening to this book. And Gabby stops it and looks at me. She's like, did they just say buns? The butt? And I'm like, no, Gabby. I don't know what's happening. She's like, I'm just driving.
Okay, but fuck, I forget the main guy's name, and it happened one summer.
Brendan?
Is it Brendan? Yeah. He was very good at the dirty talk. Just
listen.
There was no buns, and it happened one summer.
No, there wasn't.
I listened to, I don't know why I do this to myself. I listened to that book in its entirety on a flight home.
I read it. I read it on the flight home from France.
I think
what we want to say is Kiara likes her smut on a plane.
Yeah. I'm literally sitting there listening to this thing, like in the window seat, legs crossed, and I'm like,
I like the legs crossed detail. Like,
yeah,
I had to at one point. Oh my god! And I did to myself again. Flying from California to Seattle, I was listening to part of Zodiac Academy.
Kiara.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I read it happened one summer on the plane home from France, and some like 17-year-old girl had seen me reading it. She's like, I love that book, and I was like, you should be reading this book.
Okay. No, let's talk about that for a second, because I remember when Silver Flames came out. This is when we all like first became friends. So sweet, feels like it's been ages. And I remember going to Walmart like the night before, because remember everyone was talking about how Walmart, like the book was out like the day before and everything. And I was there for something else with Riley. But I went over to the book section just to look, and there was this mom with her daughter, because her daughter was looking for it. Daughter's like,
you told us about that.
I remember you telling us about this story.
Like, you should not be here. But then we have to remember that we were reading shit like that at 16 too, and I think that's why we're all just like, you should be reading this. Because look at us now.
We did our time.
I fully watched porn for the first time at like 7.
Like
So we didn't get a computer until I was in middle school. And it was, we were that family that the computer was in my parents' room, because my parents, that's where they spent most of their time. So if I'm on the computer, I'm in my parents' room, they're watching TV, they're doing whatever. I distinctly remember, and I didn't realize what I was reading at the time. It's not until I became an adult, I was like, oh shit, that's what I was reading. Yeah, I absolutely read NSYNC smutty fan fiction.
Yes.
Do I remember anything about it? Nope.
Oh man.
Do I remember reading it? Yes.
That was the gateway for you, Jen.
I was literally like 11 or 12. Like,
we had our family computer was in our garage. And so Katalyn, Jen, you guys have been to my house. So like where Connor's room is, like that back corner, it used to be one full garage. That back corner used to be like where our computer was set up. Like we had this whole like game station and everything with a big TV and a couch and stuff for the boys. So that's where we were. So like when you were in the garage, like you were like separated from the family. And I was like 8 years old. I'm like, Mom, I want a Disney Channel kids account. Like I want to go on. So I was on the computer really young age. Real fucking young. Probably not appropriate. I got a MySpace when I was like 10. Top 8, 11 years old, top 8. That was hard. But it was when I was like 14, they finally put a computer in my room, and that's when I found Wattpad. Freshman year, I was like, got my first tower in my room with my monitor, and I'm just like, what is this? What is this One Direction stuff?
It always goes back to the boy bands.
It always goes.
See, it doesn't for me.
It's the gateway for most of us.
Yeah, I didn't start reading until I was 12. I still have the first book that I ever read, like on my own, and I quickly like moved into adult fiction. I don't know how that happened. I just skipped middle grade altogether. Like middle grade never happened for me. But my gateway for fan fiction was actually Naruto fan fiction.
Fuck yeah! Wait, who was it?
I read pretty much every pairing with Sakura except I started with Sakura and Sasuke, and then I developed a very deep hate for Sasuke, and then I started reading Sakura with everybody except for Sasuke and Naruto.
I love Sasuke. Are you kidding me?
I wish he would have died.
No. He was
Shots
just,
fired.
he had issues, okay? Mentally
They
unwell.
all had issues. That's not an excuse.
Listen, as long as you say
You didn't
nothing
see it?
about as long as you say nothing wrong about my baby Itachi.
Oh no, I loved Itachi. One of my absolute favorite fan fictions of all time is the Sakura Itachi pairing. It's so good. It's one of the best things I've ever read. But
Itachi
yeah, that was
Kira
my
pairing.
gateway.
Me.
That's
Itachi.
true. But yeah, that was my gateway into fan fiction. And then I had a Twilight fan fiction phase, which is why I was so mad about how Breaking Dawn ended, because I was like, this is like fan fiction but worse. Because it was not good.
So wait, were you reading the original 50 Shades of Grey before it was published as 50
Yeah.
Shades of Grey?
I did. I most assuredly did. It was
That
just
was-
as bad then.
Damn.
I was gonna say it probably didn't change much.
No.
Well, they're not
It's still
vampires
crap.
now.
If you like 50 Shades, I'm sorry, but also you should find better books.
Okay, I was obsessed at first, but I'm realizing now that I liked 50 Shades because that was like my first adult intro into what this was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you can, this is in books? Like, what is
Yeah.
this?
You can read
Well,
this?
Exactly. But then your tastes grow and evolve and you read things that are better. And then I can 100% admit, yes, I loved it. But looking back now, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Your tastes
Yeah.
grow and evolve, and then
Well,
you
by
end up
the-
liking tentacles. I don't know.
By the time
aliens.
Yeah, by the time 50 Shades got popular, I already practically lived in Borders, so I knew where all of like the adult stuff was, and I was like, I know there's better. So I distinctly remember me at 17. Wait, what year did these books come out?
50 Shades. I was in college.
50 Shades
It was, like,
came out in 2012.
sophomore year. Yeah.
2012.
I
Okay,
would
no,
know
I was
because
working.
I wrote about it in my master's thesis.
Okay. I was working at Borders at this time.
Mhm.
So I was working there, and I remember somebody came in looking for it, and I was like, can I recommend other things instead?
Victoria's like, let me
introduced her-
steer you in a better direction.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I took her over to the Sylvia Day stuff, and I was like, just try this.
I fucking love Sylvia Day. Oh my god.
So, oh yeah, Sylvia Day. If you're looking for an intro to
Okay,
that genre,
correction, 2011.
might be 2011.
I
Either way,
don't want
I'm still
anyone
working
coming
at
on and being
Borders.
like, "You're wrong."
No.
Whatever.
The Crossfire series is so much better than fucking 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, but if you're looking for an intro into like that genre, Sylvia Day is a good way to start. Or you could jump off the deep end and do like Ice Planet Barbarians. You know, everybody has
That
their
was
own thing.
pure comedy. I'm gonna be honest.
I read one of her other books before Ice Planet Barbarian started to take off. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's just the aliens aren't blue.
I read the first Ice Planet Barbarians because I promised somebody I would, and I was laughing. Like, that was not sexy at all to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that he's calling her clit a third nipple between her legs. Like,
Please.
I'm sorry.
Listen,
I can't.
as much as we have all adapted and grown from 50 Shades of Grey, this is my historian coming out, it has done so much for the book community and the growth and acceptance of these types of books over the last decade and a half. If it wasn't for 50 Shades of Grey and its popularity at that time, we probably wouldn't see the type of stuff that we see today. We wouldn't see the acceptance that we see today. And we wouldn't see, like, you know, a lot of women pushing back against not just literary boundaries, but like patriarchal boundaries and things that we know we deserve, like in our countries and stuff. So I give a lot to, you know, E.L. James and what they did with 50 Shades of Grey, because it really opened the door for a lot of us. And this is just me from where I was when I was writing this paper a year ago. Like, there's so much like nuance. It's not a good series now that we look back at it, but
Yeah,
it did a lot.
I think part of the reason why I have such a a massive dislike of it is because it's very bad BDSM etiquette.
Yes, it is.
And on the flip side of improving things, it also like vastly wrecked the idea of what BDSM culture is.
Yes.
And so people would like try and get into it and be like, oh, it's this. No, it is not that.
I have a, you don't have to read the whole thing, but there's a book I had to read during one of my courses in my grad program where it talked about pop culture, and it had a section on this topic, specifically talking about 50 Shades of Grey and the BDSM community and like the conversation that was happening at the time. So I can recommend that to you if you wanted to read it. It's actually pretty interesting. So
Fair point.
Like,
but yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
50
here.
Shades is not for me. But if you guys have any books that you like, or fan fictions in my case that you like, that are on the smutty side, please feel free to recommend them. Jen and I at least will look
I
at
will
them.
read them.
Katalyn, maybe. If
I'll
she's
read
interested
it,
enough,
maybe.
Kira's
I
probably not
maybe.
going to.
I'll
Katalyn,
put it on my TBR.
Look at the cover.
we'll put Katalyn. We'll look
I'll look
Katalyn.
at the cover.
We'll put Katalyn down as a maybe. God.
Victoria and I, you can mark us as a yes. Kiara,
Well, if
we
it's
look at
fan
the
fiction,
cover.
it's a yes for me.
I'll get like the
Kira-
Spark Notes version from them. Don't worry.
Yeah. And if it's interesting enough for her to read, then she'll read it. You know?
Yeah.
So
I do read smut. I do read it. It's just like
just not what you're looking for.
It's not my preferred like book thing right now. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read, like, because sometimes I will go through a stage where I like read a lot at once. Because I got Kindle Unlimited. Like I have access to all those things, but you know, I just haven't been in that mindset, you know, in a long time.
That's okay.
So,
yeah.
It comes and goes in waves, you know. That's what life is about. But yeah, let us know. Hit us up on Instagram. You can email us, or you can talk to us about it in our Discord. We do have a channel dedicated to us being hoes that Jen is in often because she is our resident person. I almost said our resident whore, but that was like a little much. I am the resident whore, let's be honest. But she also runs the sexy question of the day. Make sure to check those out. If Monster Smut's more your thing, we do have a dedicated channel for that now. You're welcome. But yeah, for now, Kiara, will you take us out with an affirmation?
I will. So today's affirmation is, I move through the world with sensuality. I transform as I embrace my shadow and claim all parts of me. I am luminous and I am liberated.
Very fitting.
Very nice.
Very
nice. Thank you, Jen, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And thank you everyone else for joining us as well. Make sure to tune in on Tasty Tuesdays and Thirsty Thursdays for all new episodes, and be sure to subscribe and follow our socials listed in the description. Please make sure you like, rate, and leave a review for the podcast to help boost us across the platforms. It helps more than you know. Have a lovely day, and remember, stay thirsty, bitches.